Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Please. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please. Thank you. Thank you, Dean Cosworth, for your kind words of introduction and for the final opportunity and honor you've done me by asking me to address SIPA class of 2011. President Bollinger and Mrs. Bollinger, distinguished faculty, proud parents, loving friends, and most importantly, the graduates of the class of 2011, good afternoon. I'm honored to be part of such a joyous occasion and at an institution so close to my heart. From receiving an honorary doctorate degree here in 1998 to my current role as Global Fellow, I count myself very fortunate to have enjoyed a long-standing relationship with this great university. When I was Secretary General, I regularly turned to Columbia and its faculty for advice on the most pressing issues of our world. So today I feel privileged to pay back a little of this debt by sharing some thoughts with you, the next generation of leaders. Students of class of 2011, you and your parents and partners have every reason for pride. A diploma from SIPA is not only a proof of your intelligence and hard work, it also highlights your commitment to focus on the problems facing our world. But I have to remind you that this diploma that you are receiving also carries with it big responsibility. It is a responsibility to apply the knowledge you have gained and the analytical skills you have learned to help find and deliver the solutions to improve lives, extend opportunities, and serve your communities. There's plenty for you to do. The challenges, as you know, are unprecedented in scale and complexity. Extreme poverty, famine, disease, natural disasters are still widespread and will only be made worse by climate change. Wars within and between states, nuclear proliferation, transnational organized crime also remain unrelenting. And in the past 5 years, we have witnessed a severe rise in global food prices, soaring energy costs, and the gravest economic crisis of the past 60 years. These interlinked crises threaten to reverse the progress made towards the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals and remind us that inequality remains one of the most shameful and persistent problems in society. Today, we live in a world where subprime crisis in the US rapidly spread to every economy, costing jobs and shrinking incomes. It is a world where infectious disease can spread across continents within days. It is a world where governments have recognized the responsibility to protect their citizens from genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, as the Dean referred to earlier. Our fortunes, hopes, and fears are indeed linked together as never before. Yet I fear we have not yet internalized the change of attitude required, nor the responsibility it places on all of us. We need to embrace the ethos that emphasizes cooperation, and accepts shared responsibility for transnational problems. Our progress must be shared or it will not be sustainable. This requires leadership that recognizes that lasting progress and durable solutions need to be based on shared values and goals. It must be driven by big ambition and boundless creativity, but grounded in our common humanity. And this is where I turn to you, the class of 2011. For you are the first generation who can truly call yourselves global citizens. We need you to take the lead. Indeed, through our television screens and computers and the media, it looks as if you are already doing it. It's already happening. In North Africa and Middle East, it is young people who are demanding change for the better. Young Arab men, and importantly, women, have refused to stand idly by and allow dictatorships to continue neglecting their people. They have issued a wake-up They have issued a wake-up call to repressive regimes everywhere. And let me tell you, if leaders fail to lead, the people can make them follow. So as individuals, you do have power. And through their bravery, they have reaffirmed the notion that democracy, rule of law, and respect for human rights are universal values. For whoever we are, wherever we live, we want our rights respected, to be confident in the rule of law, and to have honest, transparent governments responsive to our needs and aspirations. It is these universal ambitions which must be at the heart of our hopes for our world, and I hope central to your work when you leave Colombia. Ladies and gentlemen, and my dear friends, the events in the Middle East and North Africa, although exciting and inspiring, can seem a long way from your own lives. But I believe they are a reminder, perhaps even a rebuke, to those of us who already enjoy the rights they are fighting and dying for. In many countries in the developed world, it is not dictators, but our own complacency which is a threat to democracy. In country after country, citizens appear to have lost interest and faith in government and the electoral process. Voter turnout is low and declining. Apathy has made it easier for single-issue groups to hijack the political agenda. This only increases the distance between government and citizen, further weakening trust in democracy and the quality of government. So I want to appeal to you, to challenge you, to get involved in public service or politics if you wish, and to stand up for democratic principles and values. No one is born a Democrat. No one is born a good citizen. It is only through hard work and education that we learn through the course of our lives to value democratic institutions because they ensure our freedom and safeguard our rights. Don't leave it to others. Don't limit your involvement to your profession. Be engaged, active, and value-driven citizens in everything you do. And not just at home, but internationally. Too often in the past, We have turned a blind eye to abuses or ignored problems far from home. Those who believe in rule of law at home must also insist on it abroad. For too long, we have assessed the health of country, any country for that matter, by putting a premium on economic indicators and stability at the expense of good governance. But as the developments in the Middle East and North Africa indicate, economic growth and security cannot be sustained in the long run without democracy, without the rule of law and respect for human rights. This is the critical third pillar. We must start with greater support for democracy, for only through good governance can we ensure that the values we hold dear are upheld and that our rights as citizens are protected. By improving governance, demands we respect the integrity of the most basic yet most essential institutions we have come to value: free and fair elections. Elections are now almost universal. There is scarcely a country where national leaders and legislators are not elected. But elections, as we have seen, do not on their own guarantee democracy and freedom. In many countries, they are rigged or abused, offering citizens neither choice nor promoting good government. Instead, too often, they are used as a tool to provide existing leaders with a false legitimacy to allow them to retain power. We all know what conditions must be met before and after polling for elections to be truly credible and a good instrument of democracy. Opposition parties must be free to organize and campaign without fear of intimidation. And there must be, as far as is possible, a level playing field for all candidates. On polling day itself, voters must feel safe and have confidence in the secrecy of their ballot. There should not be fear of retribution or revenge. And when the votes are counted fairly and the winner declared, the result must be accepted no matter how disappointed the defeated candidates feel. But too often, we see these conditions ignored and electoral process abused. Constitutions are altered to lift term limits. Free speech is denied. Opposition parties are threatened. Divisions are deliberately inflamed by unscrupulous politicians to focus on our differences rather than what is common. In the last few months, we have seen the terrible consequences of the abuse of electoral process in Côte d'Ivoire. The stubborn refusal of Laurent Gbagbo to relinquish power, despite having clearly lost a free and fair election, plunged the country back into civil war. As a result, as you heard from the Dean, some 3,000 lives were lost and 1 million people were forced from their homes. I have just returned from Côte d'Ivoire, where fighting has thankfully ceased for the most part. We were there to encourage healing, reconciliation, and I don't know what word to use, to get them to reach out to each other. But there is now a huge effort needed within the country, as well as from the international community, to repair the damage and heal the wounds which have been reopened. I believe most of this could have been avoided or prevented if the entire international community has stood firmly united behind its principles and supported the election result. It is a stark reminder of the importance of upholding the integrity of electoral process. In the aftermath of a crisis, elections can be a powerful instrument for resolving differences and charting a way forward in open, representative, and fair manner. The integrity of elections in these situations is essential if future disputes and conflict are to be avoided. Free and fair elections are also fundamental to long-term development, to peace, security, and prosperity. Without the accountability and transparency they bring, corruption, incompetence, and cronyism go unchecked. Without the right to have their voices heard, citizens are left without recourse to peaceful political change, and this could lead to instability, divisions, and conflict. We need to step up efforts to encourage national leaders and the international community to raise the cost, I repeat, to raise the cost for those who would hope to rig or steal elections or extort power sharing when they lose. For flawed elections do weaken democracy. We need to spread the understanding globally that when flawed elections are accepted or endorsed, we weaken democracy. And when we fail to accept the clearly expressed will of the people because we don't like the government they have elected, we undermine democracy too. Again, I have seen in Kenya, in the aftermath of the post-election violence in 2007, how it is the young generation who understand these challenges better than their elders. It is the strong civil society with young men and women in the lead, which is reminding the coalition government of the promises they made under the agreed reform agenda. There is a long way to go, but the progress so far has only been possible because these young Kenyans, men and women, were not complacent about the values they hold dear or the future direction they hope for their country. We need you, the class of 2011, to do as these young men and women have done in Kenya. Take up the challenge. Whatever field you choose, whatever path you set out on, do not forget the importance of values or the institutions that enshrine and protect them. We need you to lead by example, inspire those around you, show the world that your success is not only a product of intelligence, but of what you believe in. People will remember you. They will remember you not by your rise to leadership, but by the quality of your leadership. I hope many of you will embrace public service and politics. If we all abandon politics, who's going to make the legislation and the rules for us if the smart ones don't want to go into politics? But one of the greatest lessons I learned as Secretary General is that there is a great need for good and enlightened leadership in government, in civil society, and in business. Effective civil society leadership has prompted good policies, kept politicians on their toes, and fostered concrete change. We need high-quality leadership in the private sector as well. This is the main driver of economic growth, job creation, and innovation. There is nothing to be ashamed about wanting a good salary, providing security for yourself and your family is a fine ambition. But always I see quite a few of you are headed for Wall Street. But always look beyond your next paycheck. In your work, raise your eyes above the bottom line to the wider impact in the communities in which you operate. It will be of benefit not just to those societies, but to your own business. And we need your engagement too in civil society. In your personal as well as your professional life, use your education to guide your communities and countries in the right direction. Whatever your aspirations, remember your decisions will impact on people on the other side of the world. So always think globally, even if you have to act locally. The way you respond to these challenges will decide the health, happiness of billions of people across the globe. It is a big responsibility, but it is your world now. You must have the courage to change it for the better. You chose this university and this course to enhance your decision-making skills and your analytical abilities. But you also came here to find like-minded people who share your thirst for change and your passion for seeking solutions to the world's problems. As you leave SIPA, your first challenge will be to maintain this optimism that change is possible. Optimism that change is possible. It is not easy, but it can be done. I stand here as an example of someone who remains as optimistic today as I was when I was your age. Ending poverty and hunger, tackling climate change, or ensuring sustainable development and peace will demand both your optimism and your resolve. Your idealism is not only welcome, it is essential. Do not let the many challenges of the world discourage you. Don't let the cynics and skeptics dampen your enthusiasm. Dream, my friends, dream, and keep dreaming. For many achievements starts with a simple dream. It always starts with a dream. I, for one, have every confidence in your ability. Students of SIPA class of 2011, congratulations for all that you've achieved over the last 2 years. I wish you great success in your lives and look forward to all the achievements yet to come. We are counting on you. Thank you. Thank you.